Want to see early content and more from The Cinema Snob? Become a supporter over at patreon.com/thecinemasnob, where you get to see early viewings of new episodes. Plus, you can see installments of our supersized episodes, including the first parts of our upcoming 1962 in film episode. All that and more over at patreon.com/thecinemasnob.
Okay, people, we got a lot to get to here. Let me take a minute and get a drink first. Oh yeah. All right, let's get the homework out of the way because, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this movie. I knew that, when the new Tyler Perry thriller came out. Most of the current movie reviews I do right now are short, so I had a feeling. I was like, hey, I might need more than a minute to talk about this. Might need more than 10 minutes to talk about it. Or less. I don't know. I've still got some of my Coca-Cola Spiced left, so maybe I'll actually get through it fairly quickly. It's been a while since I've done one of the live reviews. They've all been so tight in that minute-long format that, forgive me if I'm a little rusty. Not that I was ever that good at it to begin with, doing the live reviews, but no, I reached out for sometimes I do get screeners for the Netflix stuff. I did reach out for a screener for Mea Culpa, the new Tyler Perry thriller. They got back to me pretty quick in order to say, yeah, we don't really have any screeners for that one. So watched it the other day. I watched it on Tuesday, between in the points where my son was taking a nap. I don't know if I would have necessarily wanted this to be his intro into the Tyler Perry universe. Oh, but anyway, right, the homework I gotta do. All right, well, you saw patreon.com/thecinemasnob. Got a bunch of 1962 videos up there right now. The full video of that should be done in a few weeks, I think. So a lot of 1962 Cinema Snob over there, and the It's Alive remake. Currently, a couple of weeks now, I believe it's been on there. I'm pretty sure the copyright limbo might last the full 30 days, and I'm getting even more and more convinced that it's flagged by a company that doesn't exist anymore. One of the 20 production logos in front of it. For a very less than mediocre film. An episode that I didn't have the most material out of it. I'll put it to you like this. The Dune episode that I just did was 34 minutes long. There was 30 minutes for the Roadhouse episode. The It's Alive remake episode, it's probably like 19 minutes. It is a shorter movie, though. I think it was the shortest of all the It's Alive films, at like 80 minutes long. But anyway, all that stuff over there on Patreon, plus our next convention that we got coming up. Come see us, Days of the Dead, Chicago, March 22nd through the 24th. I mean, sure, you could also see Clive Barker, I guess. He's going to be there. Or me. I reviewed all of the movies. I remember I was at a con once, and someone wanted me to autograph the DVD for Caligula, and it was a convention that Malcolm McDowell was at. Would you sign this copy of Caligula? I mean, sure. The real Caligula is right over there. They're like, yeah, I know. I'm getting both of them. Oh, the two stars of that movie. Myself, Malcolm McDowell, and, there's 3 stars. Malcolm McDowell, myself, and Stomach Ass Man. I almost said the Ass Flower, but no, Stomach Ass Man deserves higher billing. So, all right. Now, to get on with, again, if you're in the mood for a Tyler Perry thriller, it'll be thrilling in a lot of different ways. We've had great Tyler Perry comedies before, and they're all his dramas. Those are the funniest. So will this be in the line of there was Temptation, there was Fall from Grace, There was Acrimony. All of those I've seen. I didn't see Good Deeds. Really, he's done so much stuff that I feel like I have seen a lot of them, but I've probably only seen about 20, maybe 20% of the movies of the movies he directed. I kind of try to make it a point now, just for review's sake. And there's enough of them throughout the year. I hope there's more after this, because let me tell you something. With Mea Culpa, it brings me back to just that innocent time of like late 80s, early 90s, like not just erotic thriller, but legal erotic thriller. I mean, sure, you are you're sucked in by the court case that's going on, the murder mystery surrounded by stuff, but really you're just there for the banging. The internet porn's not a thing, so you want to go see some softcore sex on screen. And under the guise of being very engaged by a murder mystery going on. It doesn't matter what kind you're talking about here, whether you're talking about some of the better ones or the more theatrical, like or ones that went to theaters, like Jagged Edge, Wild Orchid. I mean, Body of Evidence. It was theatrical. What was it? Guilty as Sin, stuff like that. Or there's the Skinamax versions. I've probably seen more of those because that was every other Shannon Tweed movie. There's a court case going on. They think Shannon Tweed is the killer. Do we have Andrew Stevens on standby to be the lawyer? No? Larry Poindexter is in this one. All right. Body Chemistry 4, people. So, yeah, the Body Chemistry movies. The Body Chemistry films. I'm sure Shannon Weary was in some, too. It doesn't matter what kind you're talking about. Whether, again, it's more ambitious stuff like Jagged Edge or, again, Body Chemistry 4 with Shannon Tweed and Larry Poindexter. Because any of those will make way more sense than anything that happens in the Tyler Perry murder mystery legal erotic thriller Mea Culpa. It doesn't matter if it's on Cinemax After Dark or if it's got Zalman King's name attached to it or both. Does that mean that you're getting your money's worth here? It could. I'm sitting here talking about it, right? This is one of those movies where little things make it awkward. Like when you isolate them, it would be like kind of nitpicky to talk about, but then you cobble them all together, so you just kind of got a string of little things that are just making the movie more and more awkward as it goes along. And I'll get into the plot here in a little bit, because there's actually a lot of plot in this movie. There is. It isn't just like, they're trying to convict Shannon Tweed, but she's hot. Let's bang on the pool table. No. Even from the very beginning of it, the way that the opening credits are, where you could tell it was just a scene happening, and then at the last minute they decide to stick opening credits on the bottom of it that go by like kind of slow while all this dialogue is happening. Again, a scene whose intent was to not have opening credits on it. It feels like it was put in at the last minute because the credits are kind of movie poster font. And then there's other things about the plot too. She is fighting to make sure this man is not convicted and does not get the death penalty and dies from lethal injection. This takes place in Illinois, a state that doesn't have the death penalty. But whatever, let's put all that on the table for now. It's only partly Illinois. Yes, it's taking place in Chicago, in that there's a lot of drone shots of the city, but maybe I haven't been around enough of the city to notice just how much of it looks like Georgia. You can tell a lot of it's Tyler Perry town because of the red bricks that are on a lot of Tyler Perry buildings when he films over in Georgia. So, again, kind of Chicago by way of Georgia. Maybe in this universe they have a lethal injection. And one of the most normal things about this movie, and that kind of tells you what type you're in the mood for, is it's a legal thriller named Mea Culpa, where the main character's name is Mia. I mean, was the main character in Fall from Grace named Grace? I feel like she might have been. Maybe that was one of the Tyler Perry twists in that one. Is the main character not being named Grace. So Mia, this is Kelly Rowland in the film. She takes up a murder case from an artist. There's a very popular Chicago artist who a woman went missing, and they want to try him for murder. But her evil in-laws do not want this to happen. The evil in-laws are saying, no, you cannot take up this murder case. She's already having a lot of problems with her husband. Evil mother-in-law with the bright, evil Disney villain, evil queen red hair hates her guts throughout this whole movie. They're saying, you cannot take up this murder case because her brother-in-law is the prosecutor. Her brother-in-law is the DA. He's prosecuting this case because he thinks it will help him politically because he's also running for mayor. I feel like for a lot of reasons, the defense attorney and the prosecution wouldn't be brother and sister-in-law. But again, that's little things here. She ends up taking the case out of spite. So she's having problems with her husband in the movie because it's also kind of part Temptation, where it opens in marriage counseling. They're having such problems that the husband, near the end of their counseling session, he gets a phone call from his mom, evil mom, and is like, I gotta take this, honey. I'm sorry. I gotta step out of our couples counseling to take this call from my mom. You know it's her birthday. She's gonna be mad if I don't answer this in the middle of our therapy session. He leaves. The therapist is like, does that happen often? That seems like a big problem. You should have brought this up at the beginning. What kind of weird relationship does he have with his mom here? And a whole thing that was wildly unnecessary because he's saying, I got to take this. You know how she is. I got to wish her a happy birthday. And the next scene, they're all seeing each other because they're on their way to her birthday party. This phone call and the awkwardness and the stuff that's making you look bad with the marriage counselor, I would say this is making you look like the not so good one in this party here. Doesn't really matter, though. It's the last time we see the marriage counselor in the film. We do get an answer, though, of how this marriage works out. Don't worry. We'll get to spoiler territory with this film. There actually wouldn't be much to talk about with it if I didn't get into spoiler territory with it. She thinks her husband is cheating on her. He's really close with this other woman. And even his evil mom straight up says, like at the birthday party right in front of her, which the woman is at, straight up says, man, I wish you married my son instead. Isn't she great? You two have so much in common. Anyway, we really don't want you to take up that murder case. So again, she hates her in-laws so much. That's why she takes up this case. This case feels like it's moving forward very fast, by the way, considering the death penalty is on the table and the woman is just missing. They don't even have a body. They're just like, well, he probably did it. There isn't a lot of evidence, really, that would hold up in court without a body. Maybe they're just jumping the gun because there's a lot of protesters outside of the art gallery where a lot of his paintings are. But the head of the art gallery, she doesn't give a shit. There's this great scene where there's all of these protesters with like cheaply made signs like calling the artist a murderer and everything. And then the art gallery owner it's like a scene out of South Park. Like the art gallery owner is just at the window and all the protesters is just like... He makes me money. It's the only art that's in this entire building, so if she did get rid of it, she might be out of business. And of course, a love affair ends up happening. between her and let me actually look up his name real quick. Uh, I I remember Mia because it's part of the title. I was so fixated on remembering the name of Mia that I forgot. Oh right, there's some other characters in this movie too. Just tell me the characters' names, man. Okay, Zaire. Zaire. All right, so Zaire is the artist. You know he's an artist because it's got the scene in it that like every erotic thriller about an artist has where they're going to have sex while covered in paint. You've seen it in, I believe that happened in Zandali, where Nick Cage was like an artist. Did it happen in Poison Ivy 2 with Xander Berkeley? He was an artist in that. Or a sculptor or something. I don't know. If the Hello It's Me music video, if the Lionel Richie music video continued, you would have been banging that sculpture. So, all right. Anyway, they end up sleeping together and having an affair just because the script says they have to. There are so many red flags between one, her not taking this case, which with that it's actually a good thing she did, but other than that, her actually getting into bed and sleeping with him, because even if he's not a murderer, at the end of the day, he's a total sex addict in this movie, which again is I think why they're trying to prosecute him, because he's a bad breaker upper or something like that. So he sent some very angry messages to the girl who's now missing. So there's parts she'll go over there to his loft to have just like, you know, a meeting about where the case is going, some evidence that they need to go over, and he'll just be standing there getting a blowjob from somebody else. At one point, he's like, "We need to get out of here." She's like, "Yeah, let's go somewhere else." So he just takes her to a good old-fashioned Chicago orgy that actually does look a little something like the hallway from Tiberius's grotto in Caligula, minus the torture going on, but those same kind, you know, the shot that's in every movie with an orgy, where there's like red sheets on either side, it's a big hallway, and you see silhouettes of like people banging. And so after this happens, not really sure how that thing ended, by the way. I don't think either of them joined in. But anyway, later on, she's like, "Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should have our meetings in a more professional setting. Less with the orgies, less with me showing up here and some random person is blowing you." I like that what tips her over to the edge to be like, okay, now I'm totally going to have an affair, is when she walks home and catches her husband playing video games, multiplayer with his headset on, with the woman who she thinks he's having an affair with. They're like playing Call of Duty or something like that. Only time anything like this, neither one of them seems like that's what they would be doing with each other, but she's got to catch them doing something together, playing some Call of Duty. All right, only time that really happens in it. Yeah, okay. She needs an excuse to go sleep with Zaire. No one in this movie has good chemistry with each other. There's very good actors in it, and it's not like they're shot separately or anything like that and then just edited together. It's not that. They're all there together, but the way that they read their lines is like the lines are recorded separately. It never feels like anyone is playing off of each other. It's just line, 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 line. A lot of it's very wooden. It's not natural. It's just boom, 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 boom. That's how it feels like, meaning it feels like it was maybe, I'm sure Tyler Perry shoots pretty quick, so that's probably what the case is here. So you have actors in this movie who are very good actors. They aren't good in this. They're either very wooden or just simply because of how it flows. No one's really bouncing off of each other. It is just a lot of things happening because they're supposed to. Mainly the affair. And even then, you've seen the wildest, like, it says like rated R for graphic nudity in it. it never goes like, as far as the two leads go in the movie, he's got some naked shots in it. Like, again, the girl going down on him and stuff like that. As for the two of them together, not really. It never goes like full Basic Instinct or Body of Evidence or things like that with the two lead characters. No. They have the sequence where they're covered in paint and they're having sex, I think, so that the paint can cover up some nudity. Maybe, again, you do an erotic thriller about an artist, you gotta have sex in paint. Otherwise, why are you even an artist? That doesn't work well in my profession. Oh man, me and my wife, we've slept together on so many laptops. That's how they all get broken in Neil Breen movies too. So most of this is a 2-hour movie. Most of it does just simply, I would say, 3/4 of it. Again, it's 2-hour runtime. Most of it does play like, you're kind of just watching a bad legal thriller that is a lot of flirting, random sex scenes, bad dialogue, really cartoonish villains, and no one really having that much chemistry with each other, but not a single scene in a courtroom. He's out on bail. We haven't gotten to the opening statements yet, or any sort of like hearing whatsoever. But we got to get to the twists, people. All right, here's where we're going to spoil the hell out of this. Let me tell you something. The day that I watched this movie, again, it was Tuesday when I watched this movie. Later on that day, I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I was like, I just watched this wild-ass movie, man. It's called Mea Culpa. And she's like, oh, I tried watching like 15 minutes of it and then stopped. And I go, keep watching. I understand why you gave up like 15 minutes in. Keep watching. Which should be the tagline for every Tyler Perry thriller. Temptation. Keep watching. You're gonna want to get to the AIDS twist and him screaming Judith down the street. Acrimony. Sure, starts out about a guy selling his battery. You're gonna want to make it to the boat scene. Fall from Grace starts out as kind of this con man thriller, then like a sex trafficking ring comes into it, or like a white slavery ring. Keep watching. So that's the case with this. Now, she and Zaire are hooking up quite a bit, and he paints her a portrait again. That's probably his MO. He probably paints a lot of portraits of women he sleeps with, and he does. You know why? She wakes up in bed one day, and on the roof, kudos he did this while she was asleep, on the the ceiling is a big painting of her. So she's flattered and everything. It's probably safer than a mirror being up there. Then, not too much longer after that, she goes up to it, notices that like she can peel her painting off. The frame is still there, but she peels the painting off. Underneath of it is a painting of another girl. That just makes him seem cheap. Like, I don't want to get another frame or anything. I don't even want to take the painting out. Just plaster over it with an image of the next girl that I sleep with. And that isn't even the only one. It's several. It's seriously like a scene out of Looney Tunes with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck ripping off duck season, rabbit season, duck season posters off of the tree, until it gets to the one where it's the girl who's missing, which again is kind of incriminating him a little bit, because it's a portrait of the girl who's missing, which he wrote on it like, die bitch, or something like that. Why you would even keep that to begin with, I don't know why you're keeping any of these. It's not really like you're plastering over it. You're not really looking at it or anything. It's really making him look lazy, and like he's terrible at getting rid of things that are very much incriminating him. So she's like, you're going to have to get another lawyer. And she leaves. that isn't even the craziest. That's only the start of it, people. So, all right, she ends up leaving, and she goes on vacation. She's away at some resort or something like that, and then she notices the maid when she's out jogging. She sees the maid just walking by. She instantly recognizes her. She goes, "Wait a minute, I know who you are." And the maid's like, "No, you don't. No, you don't. We've never seen each other before. Neither of us have ever seen each other before. No, no, you're the girl who's missing. Everyone's looking for you." She just happens to run into the girl who everyone thinks is dead, to the point to where they're wanting to prosecute Zaire for this and just put his ass away for murder. She just sees her working as a maid, runs away, loses her. She calls her DA brother-in-law and says, "We need to cut all charges, man. You need to talk to the police, all right? Zaire is innocent. I just ran into the girl." And so DA's like, "Don't worry. I'm sending my people out there right now." Which means he's in on it somehow. And he is. He tells Mia, "You need to get to the family house so we can talk about this a little bit longer." So Mia goes to the family house, where instantly things are even more sinister there. You have evil mother-in-law. Oh, evil mother-in-law breaking her cell phone. Mia gets her cell phone out like, "Oh, something's going on." Oh, I didn't even tell. Okay, I need to back up a little bit. Evil mother-in-law has cancer, by the way. It kind of comes and goes in the movie. Sometimes she's got her hair. Sometimes she's got like a thing on her, like a wrap around her head. It varies from scene to scene how she looks. But anyway, you're caught up. Everyone feels sorry for the mother-in-law, and they kind of let her get away with doing bitchy shit because she's got Tommy Wiseau room cancer in this. So, all right. When she sees Mia on the phone, she pretends to bump into her, falls down, clearly intentionally with her knee, pretends like she fell down, but crushes her phone with her knee, and then says, "Oops, looks like you're gonna need another one. Sorry, it's my cancer acting up again." So, all right, Mia's sans phone. Then they're doing stuff like making sure Mia's not around any knives, and DA brother-in-law gives her a glass of wine in which they CGI'd bubbles inside of it so you can see the poison. Told you they were some Disney evil queen and henchman villains in this. So yeah, they want to off Mia in this because she knows too much. Now, what does she know? Okay, she knows the girl is still alive because they're setting up Zaire. The reason that they're framing Zaire is because one of the things that Mia finds in the house is another painting from Zaire. And this painting reveals other faces on it, and the face that this one reveals is Mia's close friend, who's also her the DA brother-in-law's wife. Like the two wives are friends with each other. It turns out that even before like the girl went missing and then Zaire and Mia started hooking up with each other, he was banging the DA's wife. The DA's wife was having an affair with him, so he just straight up wants revenge for this. So the DA concocted this whole plan to give him so he can run on curbing the amount of crime that's going on in the city. So he is, out of revenge, framing Zaire for this murder. And not only that, the mother, remember I said earlier, this is at least kind of answered, where the mother-in-law, the stages of her cancer kind of go in and out in the movie. So sometimes she looks okay, sometimes she's not, but she's still going to reference she has cancer. Well, there's a reason for this. It's because she didn't have cancer all along. The whole cancer plot was just because the mayor candidate wanted to build up sympathy from the voters. So, Mom, I know no one likes you anyway, but maybe they'll feel bad if you pretend to have cancer. So she ends up She ends up escaping from the house. She runs away. Her husband is in the car. She gets in the car with her husband. They're driving away. And I was honestly sitting there like, I actually don't know if the husband is also going to be in on it, because he's clearly really stupid. But so's everybody in this. But at least it seems like he's supposed to be stupid. So she's telling him he needs to call the police and everything. They're in the car. He's on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, it's okay. We're on our way to the police station right now." Then she puts the phone on speaker, and you hear evil brother-in-law go, "Yes, get her back to the house." So now she knows, oh shit, the husband was also trying to kill her off and frame Zaire and do this political plan to gain sympathy with a cancer fraud plot. Don't worry, this wraps up pretty quick, because in the car, she sees a semi truck headed towards them without her husband really seeing it. She leans her hand down, unbuckles his seatbelt. He kind of notices it. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing down there? Why'd you unlock my seatbelt?" Huh? Then she turns the car wheel really quickly, which slams it right into the semi truck. It's okay. It was just the side that the husband was on. Mia's perfectly fine in this collision with a semi truck. It only hit the right part of the car, which sends him out. Get together. We had some pretty good sex, just saying. I got tons more cans of paint we can try out. They also cleaned the floor at the orgy room. We can start over. So anyway, I was glad that I watched this. Let me tell you something. I was watching this. I also did a short a couple of days ago on the chizza, the thing that's the chicken that's also a pizza, kind of like fast food version of like a chicken parmesan dish, And chizza. I did the short on it, and then I was watching this movie. I'm eating this greasy chizza thing that is so good, but it makes me feel so bad. And I'm watching this Tyler Perry movie. This is a whole big situation of all of this is wonderful, and I'm hating myself every second of it, that I'm enjoying it so much. Whether it's this movie or this greasy dish that I'm eating, all of it made sense. It was all on a weekday afternoon, too, while my son was napping. That was my week, man. Do I recommend this movie? Yeah. I mean, it really is one of those films where, what do you even grade it? Because on the one hand, yeah, the acting's terrible. It doesn't make any sense. The plot twists are stupid. There's holes all over this damn thing. They don't have chemistry with each other. There's so much of it that's not working. But Tyler Perry does have a way of still making that entertaining. Like, I went into this knowing what it was going to be. So on the one hand, it's like, yeah, this deserves like a D, On the other, we've seen so many of his that are like it. Like, there's similar problems, again, in Fall from Grace, Temptation, Acrimony, that you know what you're getting into when you're watching it. You want it to be really awkward. You want it to have all these crazy twists that happen in it. You want to be able to talk about it at length later. Corey Coleman and I were texting afterwards. I said to him, I was like, calling it Mea Culpa, best film of 2024. And in that regard, it delivers in that aspect. It's like, if this were a failure, it'd be like just boring, or forgettable. And it's not. It's not at all. I feel like if you legitimately like his to where you think they're really good, like you think they're solid thrillers or something like that, the movies I just mentioned. You'll probably like this too because it's more or less about the same. But if you watch it kind of wanting a train wreck out of it, you're going to get that too. So I have to sit here and say that, like, yeah, sure, it delivers in that aspect. He knows the right ingredients to not make it boring. So anyway, it is on Netflix. So if you've already got Netflix, not really costing you anything. So yeah, it's like, yeah, I guess I give this a D, but a D. Wink. Entertainment value, it's like an A. Is way better than what's a recent bad movie that I sat through? Texas Twister. Texas Twister, the faith-based Twister movie about the guy who sees visions of tornadoes in his dreams. Like they accidentally made a Paul Schrader movie with this, but I love Paul Schrader. This movie is like if a Schrader movie existed in the universe of Jingle Smells. That was just tonky and boring and a struggle to sit through. No, that's not the case with this. You order yourself a chizza. Watch this movie, you're going to be... Oops, oh, wait. Bye. Hang on, sorry. I meant to click the review part. Hang on, let me click the review part of it so I can pause it. There we go. Okay, just wanted to pause it. Sorry, I'm not leaving just yet. Anyway, see you people. All right, let's go ahead and... how long did I talk about that? Let's look and see. What time? 30. I went 37 minutes. Not bad. I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about that. Kind of want to make it a regular thing where my Tuesdays are kind of light for me. Like I actually do have time to watch stuff like Mea Culpa and stuff like that. So I kind of want to start doing more of that for the stream, to be perfectly honest. I might even start putting up some polls for it too. I know there's always some magical stuff that's on VOD. I kind of already have something picked out that I want to talk about next week. But after that, I might take stuff that looks like it would be fun to talk about that are on VOD and even put up a poll and put that over on Patreon. I feel bad I haven't done enough polls lately. I think that would be a good way to do that. I can even, put the box covers together and stuff like that. Put on the stream. So... all right, let's go ahead and get to your super chat questions and comments here. Thank you so much for all of these, by the way. Ooh, decent amount here. All right, we might go for another 40 minutes here. All right, from James Moyner. Salutations, Brad. I hope you're doing well along with the rest of the family. I messaged you on Patreon what ChatGPT came up with of a Cinema Snob Caligula review. Ooh, I'll take a look at that. I need to do... that's some good thinking. I need to do that. I got to, yeah, okay. I got to put together, the next time I do a Chat GPT episode, we'll make it Caligula. I'm surprised I haven't done that sooner. Danny McGraw, who's your favorite Bond henchman? Mine's Jaws. He says this is Jaws. That's a good question. You know what? Mine's probably Jaws, too. Or Odd Job. Odd Job's probably the one I grew up watching the most. But Jaws has that benefit of Jaws has an arc. He's in 2, Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker, and things work out well for him at the end of Moonraker. He settles down, he falls in love, has a girlfriend and everything. He becomes good by the end of it. Yeah, Jaws is a henchman that does very much have a character arc over a couple of movies. I'll go ahead and say that too. And also, neither one of those you want to be in GoldenEye on a Nintendo 64. Jaws, because he's too big. You're always trying to look down while you're shooting at anybody. Odd Job you don't want to be just because you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be a dick. Odd Job's really small, so that makes it hard for anyone else to shoot. You don't want to be that guy. So I always picked Boris on multiplayer GoldenEye 64. John Bondi, I enjoy your videos. Are you familiar with Red Letter Media? Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Do you hear they auction? I heard, yeah, I got a lot of tweets about this. They auctioned a tape of Nuki for charity. It went for a bunch of money. Good on them, man. That's really, really cool. The more people know about Nuki, the better. And they are very much like linked with that movie, man, with Nuki. No, that's really cool that they did that. And they collect all of those VHSs too that they find for Nuki. Would you ever collaborate with them? Yeah, I mean, for sure. But I don't think they do a lot of stuff like. I think a lot of their stuff is like mainly in house. I believe. I think a lot. I think they kind of. I've never met them before. I never met them before. But yeah, of course I would. I'd collab with about anybody, depending on what I'm doing that day. No, yeah, absolutely. John Bondi again. Have you ever been to Hannibal, Missouri? I have. They've been having big river comic conventions for a few years. Would you ever visit there? Of course. Yeah, we went there. We were there a few years ago. We were visiting where were we? Nauvoo. We were in Nauvoo in Illinois, and just right across the river to Missouri. So there was one day we kind of had to ourselves, and we went to, and Laura and I went to, and we stopped off at Hannibal, and there was like a big festival that was going on there. Like it just happened to be going on. We just kind of went there. We were like, oh, Hannibal's close to here, so we went. There just like happened to be this. It was like a Twain steampunk thing going on or something. Maybe that's just something they do every weekend. So that's why it happened to coincide with us being there. Yeah, of course. I mean, we love getting out of town. So yeah, we would absolutely go to Hannibal again. John Bondi again. Do you have any advice for doing YouTube movie reviews? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same advice that I usually give when asked that. Like, usually I get asked that at conventions a lot. Or we all do. And what we usually say is, do it because you love it. Do it because you have a passion for it. Do it with the idea that you would still be doing this regardless of what your views are, regardless how many people are subscribed, how many people are watching. Do it because you dig it. And if you do keep doing it, you'll get better. You will. I think I've gotten better at the live thing here. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm just every bit as stuttery as I've always been whenever I do an unscripted vlog, but I'm not uncomfortable doing it. So you do get more comfortable. When it comes to scripted stuff, oh yeah, I'm way more comfortable and better at that than when I started the show on the Cinema Snob. So you'll get better, you'll get more comfortable at it, you'll find your voice as it goes along. So yeah, do it about a topic that you do have passion for. Not just because, hey, a lot of other people are doing this, so I might as well too. Do it because you really do have a lot of knowledge of that, like in this case, movies. So if that's what you're wanting to try out, best of luck to you, man. I hope it goes well. John again. When's the next Brad Ruins Rob's Day episode? I don't know. Neither of us really had much time for it. Between me and the year in review episodes really took off, so a lot of my extra time went towards that. And Rob, with his photoshopping and everything, and the critic too, he works his ass off on those. Again, is the stuff he does with transcription and all of that. So yeah. Neither of us kind of had time for like Brad Ruins Rob's Day, but I don't know, maybe in the future, like another midnight screenings. But there is something we are planning. We were talking about it not too long ago, a thing that we're planning on doing together. So I don't know when that'll be, but it'll be fun, and you guys will dig it, because we really like doing stuff together. Jacob Matthew Crawford, to tie in with Tyler Perry, ashtray bitch. Yeah, man, Fall from Grace with that Makad Brooks wig that he had in that. Yeah, but I will say this about Mea Culpa. the wig, it didn't have as many bad wigs in it. I think dude he has kind of a fakey looking beard a little bit. Maybe it's real. I don't know. Maybe it's the lighting. There's significantly less wigs than in a usual Tyler Perry flick. Bronson Wright Wolf. What's your favorite Michael Myers moment? I like I like it when he just slams the brakes in the car when Annie says, "Hey jerk, speed kills." Like Michael Myers, he just got out of the joint, man. He really isn't in the mood for sarcasm. There was a moment where he was like, "Do I stalk them for the rest of the night, or that sarcasm and that sass? Really, I wasn't in the mood for it." Slam on the brakes. Do I just take care of it here in broad daylight? I like that moment. I like it when he runs into the dude holding the boombox in Halloween 2. Like, watch where you're going. Bronson Wright Wolf again. Have you ever seen The Walking Dead? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I watched the first handful of seasons. Yeah, I was into it for a little bit. I fell off of it after a while. I forget when it was. It got to a point where everyone, like, the people who were, like, kind of annoying me were sticking around, and too many people that, like, I kind of dug were leaving, so I was like, I'm not. It got to be too uneven. There would be an episode I would like, and then one that would be stupid. There would be one that'd be suspenseful, then there'd be one that would be annoying. It was a point to where, like, I was like, I don't think they're planning on ending this anytime soon, and I really don't want to dedicate the next several years to something that's already turned hit or miss for me. I did that with Chad. I did kind of like 7. That was the Ray Stevenson season. So that at least was like, well, there was like kind of an okay season in the middle of all of that. So I fell off of Walking Dead. It was after The Governor. I don't remember what season, but it was not that long after The Governor, I think. Jacob Matthew Crawford. Which cash-in sequel to an early Joe Dante horror movie do you think is worse? Piranha 2 or Howling 2? I remember Howling 2 being worse. I actually remember kind of liking Piranha 2. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But Lance Henriksen was really cool in it, and he kind of carried it for me. And it had the crazy ass shit, like the last act where the piranha are all flying out of the water and attacking people on the shore. And don't they go after some people in a restaurant too? I can't remember, but I do kind of recall Henriksen kind of carrying it for me, and it was entertaining. Howling 2, where it had that terrible opening where it redoes the ending of the first one, but in a way that did not happen at the end of the first movie. But, it had Red Brown and Sybil Danning in it and everything. So either one of them you should watch. It'd be a good double feature. Bronson Wright Wolf, have you ever seen Martin Lawrence in Big Mama's House? I have actually not seen Big Mama's House. I should, though, in honor of Paul Giamatti being up for an Oscar. Maybe I should sit down and watch Big Mama's House sometime. I hear it's the best of the Big Mama's House movies. But, yeah, no, I never saw it. John Bondi. Would you and Jared ever watch Bucky Larson Born to Be a Star? I think Jared's in the chat, so he can answer that for you, too. Yeah, dude, I would. I've never seen that movie. I hear nothing but terrible things about it. I'm not even sure if it could. It was the far superior Happy Madison movie with a bit Happy Madison actor as a lead character. John Bondi. I ate the chizza after I watched your video. Unfortunately, it was not very large or cheesy. Oh, really? Maybe we just have a kick-ass KFC near us. When I got it, I looked at it. It was 2 pieces of chicken there, thick, big size. I was like, I'm gonna get full after like one of these. On my end, I got my money's worth, but maybe it's some maybe they kind of half-ass it a little bit at some other Pizza Huts. I did see, because I follow that website, brandeating.com. It's where I get a lot of my fast food news. They had a review of the Chizza, and the picture that they had on there of it, the one that I had looked way better than the picture that they posted. So maybe I got like a damn good quality like KFC that I ordered it from, but I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it. Come around here and get yourself one in Northern Illinois. It was like seeing stuff at a convention, but outdoors. MH We Eat Nation. What are your favorite 90s superhero cartoon show? Mine was Spider-Man, the animated series. I didn't watch a lot of the... I know that most of my friends grew up with those a lot more than I did. There's some that I would watch more of. I didn't really watch a lot of the Spider-Man animated series. I didn't watch a lot of X-Men. I didn't watch a lot of Fantastic Four. Batman I did. I didn't see every episode of it, but I did see a lot of it. Like there was I remember there being a period there when I was young where it was on at the right time of day, and I would catch most of them. I feel like I'm really... Does Inspector Gadget count? Because I watched the hell out of Inspector Gadget. I was a big fan of Inspector Gadget. Don't even get me started on that movie and how they got so much stuff wrong. I'm a purist when it comes to the gadget. So if Inspector Gadget counts, yes, that's my favorite, man. I watched a bit of The Tick. I was into sillier cartoons, I was into, I'm a huge Looney Tunes guy. So I grew up. A lot of the cartoons I grew up with were very slapsticky, and the comedy ones, not as much the comic book shows. Again, except for Batman the Animated Series, that I did. Again, okay, I did see a lot of Captain Planet. Again, it was on at the right time of day when there wasn't much else on. There wasn't much else on opposite it. So I actually did see a fair number of that. Enough to being like, man, dude, are Wheeler and the Blonde ever going to hook up? So, okay, sure, if that one counts, yeah. I watched it because there was nothing else on. And you watch enough of it because nothing else is on, you'll kind of get into it after a while. I can't sit here and lie and say this was on TV and I was enjoying none of it. Oh no, I probably was. I might as well. What else am I going to watch? Chat, you are right. The second Inspector Gadget movie is better. The casting made way more sense in the second movie. All right, people. Well, I think that's about all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Me talking about Tyler Perry, Mea Culpa, getting to hang out with you guys again for a while. My voice is always drained by the end of it, but so worth it because it's just cool to be here and hang out. Sorry I couldn't do it last week. There was a lot of connection issues that were going on across the country, apparently. But I was like, I don't trust the connection enough right now to live stream from it. We pause a lot anyway. I see some things in there mentioned about it freezing earlier. So, sorry about that. Sorry it keeps freezing, you guys. Hopefully that'll get taken care of during the processing when it goes into the archive. So, I hope if it freezes during the Mea Culpa review and you miss some of what I'm saying, it won't make, to kind of bookend this, it won't make any more or less sense if you heard everything that I said about that film. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Let me get the ending on here. I hope you have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you next week.